Hello, welcome back to Whatcast, and I am Matt. We're going to look at this part 3 now then of Mctoon versus Dick Wayne, the Flat Earther. Thus far, as you may have seen in parts 1 and 2, Dick Wayne's not really much of a challenge, but seems to think he is. Let's get straight into part 3. I think they're about to... I've just watched the second of it to see where they are, to make sure they wasn't still talking about the sun. Looks like they're about to move to measuring the Earth's surface. So let's check out what Dick's got on this one.
The surface of a flatness.
What is the shortest distance between any 2 points?
The surface of a globe.
According to geometry.
According to geometry, on the surface of a globe, it's a great circle. According to geometry, on a flat surface, it's a straight line.
The answer is it's a straight line. This is how navigation is done.
No. It's not. How navigation is done.
You travel in straight lines to get to your objective. As straight a line as possible to get to your objective. That's how you have an accurate measurement.
But you don't. But the problem is that
he's got no idea what he's talking about, but he watched a video and someone said that, so therefore that's all he needed. But it's the globes that are the shape, apparently.
When they do navigation, they use great circles to determine the distance. So, for example,
do you physically fly in a circle?
Yeah, you do. You do take a portion of the circle. So when
they always do that thing where they think that they've got a point, like they think this would be a point that'll definitely win, and so they start talking slowly, like that will somehow help them. Do you physically fly in a circle? I sounded like a Dalek then. Sorry about that.
When somebody's going to fly,
do you fly in an arc as well?
Yeah, you follow the curve of the surface of the Earth. So, and the way that we can be certain of this...
a straight fucking line, yes, a straight line.
No, so here's what happens.
Yeah, Dick Wanker's probably never even been in a plane, I'd imagine.
When you're going to load up an airplane to fly from Sydney to Perth, this happens every day, you need to know how much fuel you need. So and you know the burn rate, you know the weight of the plane, and then you add a little extra for taxiing and for extra in case they need to go to a different airport. So you need to know precisely how much to put in. And so what they do is they say, well, what's the distance from Sydney to Perth? And they'll use the Haversine formula to get that distance. Right? The Haversine formula computes the great circle.
On a flat Earth map, Sydney to Perth would probably be about 6 billion miles with the length they have Australia at.
Circle distance between 2 points on the surface of a sphere. Then you load in the correct amount of fuel. Now this would be disaster. This is real navigation. This would be disaster to get it wrong, because if you didn't put in enough, you'd run out of fuel. And if you put in too much, then when you got to your destination, you would find that your airplane might be too heavy to land. And so then you'd have to dump fuel in order to be light enough to land. And that's a bad thing because it costs money and it pollutes. And airliners, they don't want to waste money.
What's Wank trying to say? He's having a bit of laughter there. The incredulous laughter's coming in. He thinks he's got a point ready to... Let's see if Wank can get his point out.
By dumping fuel. So they compute the distance using the Haversine formula in order to get the correct amount of fuel. So you brought up navigation.
But they only ever cared about weight, really.
Yes, exactly. So you don't want to put in too much weight, right? What happens to a large plane if it's about to land and it's got too much weight? What's the problem?
Well, you don't know, Wank. You was literally just giggling to yourself a minute ago. Now you've been asked a question outright. Radio silence from Wank.
If it's got too much weight for the plane to handle?
Yeah, for the landing. What's the issue?
I'm sure there could be all kinds of issues.
Yeah, there's loads of issues, but I'm not going to give you any of them.
You used to work at an airport, right?
Did he? Wank used to work at an airport. Never been on a plane, though. But, well, Wank, well, thing is, he could have been on a plane and still would have looked out the window, decided the sun was in the clouds right in front of him that they've got to dodge, and that the horizon was rising to eye level. Because flirts that have been on planes still don't realise that they're talking utter bollocks.
I worked at a seaplane base, to be honest.
Oh, a seaplane base, so not a big airport. Okay.
Oh yeah, this is where it always seems to happen, isn't it? Whenever you've got a pilot or someone that's got something to do with planes, when you dig into it a bit, you realise they're a bit shit. Like well, I used to work at this airport and I fucking know what's going on. Where did you work? Well, yeah, it was an airport that kind of had one plane once. Someone landed there once.
Well, there's
So,
It was a single seater plane.
oh, there's a difference. I fueled aircraft
just little seaplanes. So a large airplane
and
like
helicopters.
And helicopters. Yeah, that makes all the difference. And lawnmowers, obviously. That's the same.
like the airplane that flies from Sydney to Perth would be a large airplane. And if that airplane shows up in Perth with too much weight, there's two main problems. One, you might not have
helicopters as big as airplanes.
There's no helicopter as big as a 740.
What the fuck's this got to do with the question? It's got nothing to do with anything.
7.
There are some big airplanes or big helicopters.
Yes, big helicopters. Therefore, moot point about having too much fuel when you land even in a passenger plane.
Not the size of a 747.
I don't care about a 747.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, I don't care about them. Talk about helicopters now, old wank.
Okay, so
Whatever.
So the number one, you might have a problem with the length of the runway, but even bigger, and people don't think about this as much, is the landing gear might not be happy with all that extra weight. So if you load up too much fuel, then you have to dump fuel before you land, or you might have a problem landing. And if you don't have enough fuel, you'll crash.
No,
I disagree. Let's move on.
No what?
Whatever. What is the point you're trying to get at?
Well, you brought up
Seriously,
navigation.
You just like hearing yourself talk.
You brought up navigation, and I was explaining to you navigation. So
No, you're not.
If what he's saying doesn't matter, why don't you just agree with him if it doesn't matter to whatever point you're trying to make anyway? Why are you disagreeing with it and then telling him to move on because it doesn't matter? If it doesn't matter, just agree with it and he'll move on.
So how it works in reality, you need to use the globe.
You travel in straight lines to get to your destination.
No, you travel in a great circle.
As possible, because that is the most fuel efficient. That is the most quickest way to get to where you're going.
In order to do
And
that on the
airplanes do it
surface
the
of a
best
globe,
because they don't have to worry about mountains and rivers and lakes and nature.
Yeah, nature. Watch out for the slugs.
yeah. So, but
they all travel in straight lines to get to where they're going.
Don't use a formula for a straight line on the surface of a flat plane. They use the formula. I don't care
what formula you want.
I know you don't care. I know it goes over your head, but they use.
I know because you don't understand what math is even.
It's because you don't understand. He understands. He understands that helicopters are just as important as 747s, and because he worked at this airport that one plane landed at once with one passenger, he knows more than you about this topic. You just don't know anything.
I don't.
Can you define math for me right now?
No, I don't need to do that. I can define how to use the Haversine formula.
Important. Okay, yes.
I can show how the Haversine formula works.
You can't define math.
And I can show how you can use the polar distance.
Math, Mctoon?
No, it doesn't matter. I can show you how to use the polar distance formula to compute the distance between points.
Math.
Doesn't matter,
you can't
Dick.
Even define math.
It doesn't matter. That's not that
you think,
you're running away.
Equation.
You know you're
Pilots
you're trapped. You're trapped in a corner. You've painted yourself in a corner here, and you're trying to get out. I know. I got it. I know that you're feeling uncomfortable right now because you're trapped. The reality is that navigation, airplane navigation that you said you work in an airport, right? Or you fuel seaplanes, that they use the Great Circle route to get from point A to point B. It's not a straight line in three-dimensional space. It is a straight line on the two-dimensional surface of a sphere.
It's not a straight line in three-dimensional space. Okay.
Yep. That's the great circle route.
Yeah.
And
I know.
and as determined by the Haversine formula. So the airline industry uses the Haversine formula to compute distances between points. They don't use
Just like they're trying to explain it. It's just the fact that they use the Haversine formula. And this bloke the whole time in the background. Oh, yeah, all right, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, sure. It's just look it up yourself.
Science is off the
a
charts.
flat Earth, a flat plane type formula for it.
Yeah, they fly as if the Earth is motionless and planar. But so what? Who cares?
Is he gonna reference that NASA document that they all reference?
So now
Never
conservation.
once did I see one use a globe? The whole base, there was enough globe to be found.
Yeah, well, yeah. Did you
Flat
ever see?
maps, lots of maps, all kinds of different maps.
Yeah. Now I have a picture of my dog, and it's
One
flat.
real easy one. Just
Is my dog flat?
little graph, match it up. Oh, there. That's how far. That's how far it is.
Is my
It's a
dog?
straight
I
bucket
think people are going to be carrying globes around to do this. Right, just stick hang a globe up in the cockpit.
line.
Is my dog flat? I have a flat picture of my dog. Is my dog flat? No, my dog is not flat. Of course not. So when you say they use a flat map, of course they use a flat map. They're so much more convenient than having a 1 to 250,000 scale globe.
They're completely inaccurate then.
No, they're not. They're very accurate.
Yeah.
Show me any flat map that's accurate. One. Show me anyone that's not distorted. You won't. You can't. They don't exist.
They are.
You can see right here. This is a flat map right on the
set. Fucking ball without having it go to shit.
Exactly. So what they use is the Lambert conformal conic projection. This is what air navigators use, and when you chart using a Lambert conformal conic projection map, it's projection from the globe. Then there's two secant lines on that map.
That's from the globe.
You've got secant line, about a third of the way up and about a third of the way down. You've got a secant line, and on those lines.
Do you think Wank knows how badly he did in this? Does he think that he's tricking anybody or saving face in any way by mumbling and talking shit while he's having it all, while he's being dog walked for all of this?
It's the scale is correct, and in between
they are completely deluded. Most of them delusional narcissists. I think he probably thinks this is a win. It'd probably take this video, not this one, Mctoon's Mctoon. I apologise. Video. To one of those ridiculous discords, flat earth discords, and everyone would say, yeah, you really got him with that one. He couldn't answer that one. You didn't know that you worked at an airport. Ha 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 ha.
It's off one way, and above and below it's off a different direction. So the cool thing is this is really neat. This is really neat. When you chart a route, and if your route goes, for example, diagonal across the chart, the offness, the inaccuracy between the two secant lines and the inaccuracy outside the two secant lines, they negate each other. It's really cool. So you can use these charts because a lot of the time you get that kind of stuff. So for long distance flights, it tends to correct for it. So you can use the scale on each of them, and it works. It's really neat. But now people use Jeppesen software on an iPad, or they use Garmin software on an iPad, for example, which is internally all done as computed as a globe. So globe is used all the time in navigation.
All your pilot experience.
You're not a pilot, and I refueled a plane once, therefore I'll win.
Yep, I do know how all that works. You don't need to be a pilot to know how it works. You can just study it, which I did.
You can just be Mctoon,
So there you go.
history and everything.
Yep. Thank
The
you.
world according to Mctoon. Take it or leave it.
I've put in a lot of effort to understanding this topic
you're
well.
A fucking idiot.
And you claim to have been around this.
You're just a fucking idiot. In that case, that makes you look even worse because you're being absolutely humiliated and schooled by a fucking idiot.
Topic longer than I have, yet you didn't know these things.
A long time.
So
that's a good point. You should know everything. The first ever flat earther, 2013, before any of the Papa Fluffs was even around, and yet you're being schooled on flights over the globe.
Why is it?
You should know all about this. You should know all about the Great Circle routes, and you should know all about the way the maps are distorted when they're flat. Every single one of them.
In all this time, you never once figured out how navigation actually worked. Yet you want to talk about it.
No, I've navigated just fine. I've lived my life.
I've lived, therefore I can navigate. In that case, I've never navigated, right? But because I've lived, that means I could just jump on a plane now and just navigate. It's easy. I've lived, therefore navigation just second nature.
Okay, but you didn't study the topic. Why didn't you study the topic?
What, I didn't observe?
So I put in the effort.
I haven't lived in nature for...
Yeah, I haven't lived in nature. What the fuck's he talking about? You trying to say that I haven't lived in nature? What do you mean? What's that got to do with navigating?
40 years? No?
For 20 years? This bloke is older than 20.
That doesn't mean anything, right? You want to do an experiment, right? You have a hypothesis. You figure out a way to test the hypothesis. You go test the hypothesis, and then if the observation, right? You observe it through experiment or observation or nature, whatever you do by comparing it, right? And then you look and you say, well, does this prediction I made from my hypothesis match nature, observation, experiment? Yes. Well, my hypothesis could be right. No. Well, the hypothesis is probably wrong. Pretty simple. That's how you figure things out. That's what I did.
There's water and there's gas. So
there's water and there's gas.
He's not going to say water always finds its level, is he? He's not going to do that, is he?
Yeah.
That's all you got?
Lots of predictions can be made.
Okay. What kind of prediction? What kind of prediction?
Standing body of water, surface perfectly flat.
Oh, let's see the measurements.
2 points.
Do you have measurements of it?
Measurements?
Yes.
What do
you made the assertion that water is flat. In order to support that assertion, you must have measurements. You don't get to just say it. You don't get to just say it.
About water, Mctoon? What is the best tool to determine what is perfectly flat and level?
A theodolite I would use.
A theodolite? You ought to eyeball it.
No.
Did he just say the best tool to determine whether something is perfectly flat is your eyes? Does he really believe that?
That's not an eyeball. No, that's a precision instrument for measuring angles.
You want to determine what is perfectly flat and level, and you say, I'll use a theodolite.
Yep, that's a great way to do it.
Oh my God. Yeah, I know. Why don't you use water?
Because the question is...
Yeah, use water to see if water's flat. That's what you want to do. Just use water.
Is water flat? And I'm asking you, and you're saying water is flat, and then you're saying, how do you know water's flat? Because water's flat. From
a liter to a swimming pool, an Olympic-sized swimming pool to an ocean.
Okay.
If it is at rest, the surface area is perfectly flat from any 2 point to any other point.
Citation
from any
needed.
1 point to any other point.
Citation needed? Yeah.
You can tell that Dick Wank thinks he's a bit more of an expert with the water always finds its level bullshit because he was barely speaking before of his first topics. He's got a bit of confidence now. He's been talking for a while and he thinks this is an obvious one. I'll definitely get a win here. Water always finds its level. Water looks flat. Your eyes are precision tools. Better than a theodolite. So therefore, I win.
You didn't just say that.
It's natural behavior.
Watch this.
Watch this.
Water. Its natural behavior is to be curved.
You got nothing. You've got no
water.
Physics. You have theoretical
Its natural
bullshit.
behavior is to be curved. I can do that too. The difference is, Dick, I have measurements. You don't.
I have measurements. Oh my God.
That's the difference.
Take it with your eyeballs. What unit of measurements do your eyeballs take?
Build a house, prick wank, without measuring it, without measuring any straightness and flatness and levelness, and see how the house looks once you've finished by using your eyeballs as precision tools.
It wasn't taken with an eyeball. It was taken with a theodolite measuring in arc seconds.
Yeah. Theodolite.
All right. So you have made a blind faith assertion that the surface of water is curved or flat, but you don't have any measurements. You just blindly believe it. Right? With no measurements.
No, I don't.
Do you have measurements?
Like, I live on the ocean. Yeah, I
Awesome.
can't believe somebody. That's what I mean. Like,
Do you have measurements?
I live on the ocean. I work at an airport. It's quite convenient that he's such an expert at all of that. We live on the ocean. Does he mean he lives on the ocean? Or does he mean that he's been to the ocean a couple of times and it's a couple of hours away?
Do you have measurements?
Even before that, children know how you can teach a child very easily how water can be handled on Earth.
Do you have measurements?
It's like it needs to be contained. It needs to have walls.
There he goes. Water needs a container. He's moved on. That was do this. The water always finds its level. Stuff didn't work, so now water needs a container.
First, if you want to transport any.
Baron Rutledge. I know Baron. From TikTok.
Macro scale.
Do you have any measurements?
Measurements of water being flat.
Yeah, do you have any?
No, I don't, because I don't know what the fuck.
Interesting thing about Baron is that he actually does lives on TikTok and he actually challenges flat earthers. He is a surveyor and he actually challenges flat earthers to meet him at certain places and to come live and show him what he's doing wrong, because they keep telling him he's doing his job wrong. It's flat earth logic. They've never done it ever, but they know he's doing it wrong. They know what he should be doing, and he offers to meet them at places, and they never turn up. But he does it all the time. He's been on To My Lives. He's come in and he's like said to people, "I'm going to be going live in like half an hour, 45 minutes. If anybody wants to come to this place, if you're living nearby or whatever, meet me there. I'll be there for X amount of hours and you can tell me what you want me to do and you can explain to me how I'm doing my job wrong and you can tell me what observations I should be making and you could tell me the flat prediction for these observations." And guess what? None of them ever go. But guess what? They still sit in the comment section telling him he's wrong with their pitiful excuses as to why they couldn't be there. Can't quite make it today, Baron.
Oh, you don't. Of course you don't. You just have blind.
Because I don't know what you mean, Mctoon.
I know flat earthers don't.
What is a measurement of flatness?
Oh, that's a good question.
Define it. It's what you're asking me
Awesome.
for. What is it? Define it for me.
It's your assertion. You should be the one.
Isn't. It's your assertion.
No, you are asserting.
You have to define it for me.
That water is.
What would you accept as a measurement of flatness?
I'll explain. But this is your claim.
Wank's found his bollocks. What's going on?
You've claimed the surface of water is flat with no evidence.
This is not a claim. This is a known fact.
No, it's not.
Ask anyone.
It's a blind faith religious claim that you have made.
It is a known fact.
Zero
You don't
evidence.
know how fucking water behaves.
You don't know how water behaves. That's your problem. Why do they never understand that water isn't this special thing that's got its own physics? Like if you we used to do this thing at school where you like rub this, plastic rod or something and just hold it next to a running tap and the tap just bends away from it because there's forces being applied making the water run a certain way. If the static electricity would stay on that rod, the water would constantly be curving around it like that or changing direction, whatever it did. It isn't special. It doesn't override forces. If there is a force pulling it down over a curved surface, it will curve with the surface.
The surface of water is curved, and I can show it with measurements and observations. But here's how.
Fucking theodolite.
Yes,
okay.
Exactly. So here is.
Why has he got against the theodolite? Like, what is the purpose of this tool if it's useless? Why do people spend a fortune on them?
With the fucking human eyeball.
It's not an eyeball. It's a theodolite. It's a precision instrument that measures
just
angles.
Throw one on the ground and fucking. You don't have to look through it.
Here's how. No, you don't.
You don't need a marker on the other fucking end of it?
No, you can do it without eyeballs. You can put a marker on the other side, and the theodolite will automatically measure up to it and then report to you on the display the angle. You can do that.
Well, I bet.
You can do that with theodolites, and they'll tell you the angle that it measures.
I always see surveyors work.
He must have watched a video that had somehow thought it was debunking surveyors and their equipment, not understood it at all, but repeating it anyway.
Impaired, but whatever.
Yeah, so the person on the other side could be holding up a reflector.
Yes.
And
You need two people.
and the theodolite that's on the other side can
You don't just need a theodolite.
yeah. And so the other side,
He really hates these theodolites. I think it's like it's a phobia of prick wank.
theodolite can automatically measure the angle without a person looking through it with their eyeball.
How'd you do that? I eyeballed it.
No eyeball necessary. I'm explaining how you can do it without an eyeball.
Don't ever build a building. Don't ever get into carpentry.
So
eyeballed it. Oh, I just eyeballed that.
None of this is eyeballing. This is precision measurement.
I use my theodolite to measure it. It's good.
Yes, exactly.
What would you use, Wank? What would be your method of measurement?
It's a fantastic tool for measuring angles. So you asked me, how would I measure flatness? Simple. I would establish a straight line from one point. And the basically the only way to do that is optically. Right? But I'll hold this up as an instrument.
Water.
But the question is water flat? So you can't use water because that's the thing we're asking about.
Jesus Christ.
Right? You've just asserted that water is flat. The test to see is whether or not water is flat. So you can't just say use water because water flat to see if water flat. That doesn't work. That's circular. So I would use just this ruler isn't really the ruler, but I would use something optically to determine a straight line from here to some other distance far away. Maybe a mile away. Maybe half a mile away.
Eyeball it with a ruler.
Maybe 1,200 yards away.
Is he just being deliberately a cock? Like, he must understand the point, and he's just in denial because he doesn't want him to get to the end of the point and prove it beyond doubt that it is the way to measure.
Or 1,200 feet away, right? And so then I would use that. I would get it 90 degrees from vertical. Okay, vertical is straight up. And that's all we have to as a reference is vertical. Okay? And then 90 degrees. And then I'd send somebody down some far distance there with an elevation thing, a marker that we could use. And one easy way to do it would be to use it over the surface of water and say, I'm going to put the theodolite 5 feet above the surface of water here. And I'm going to put the target 5 feet above the surface of water, half a mile away. Right? And then I'm going to use that straight line there. And what you want to do is you want to control for confounding variables like refraction. So what you'd want to do is do it early in the day, on a day where the water and the air are similar temperature, do it on an overcast day. These are the kinds of conditions that are ideal. And then you go check to see if at the other side of it, if that thing that is 5 feet above the water here and 5 feet above the water here, if they're in line with each other. And if they are, then you've just measured flatness. Now, does that make sense?
Not to wank.
No.
What a waste of fucking time then. I know what the point is. It's to point and laugh, like I always say. But it is kind of worthless if you're actually trying to educate these people. People like Wank are never gonna ever admit they're wrong, even if they know they're wrong. They're never gonna admit it because then they look like a dick for not admitting it earlier. So it's not gonna happen, but it's great that people like that come on to shows like this, like Toon's show, because the audience, sometimes people are on the fence and they can see what a worthless argument he was making. Please subscribe and follow whatever it is, etc. buymeacoffee.com/whatcast if you'd like to support the channel. That was part 3. Will there be a part 4? I don't know. I've got to start doing some stuff on the final debate as well, because I want to watch it. I've only seen like a minute here or there, so I want to watch it. So I'll probably be doing that next, but I might do a part 4 to this if people want one. Cheers. Take care. Have a good day.